Yo, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be running through Bloodborne and its DLC using one of my favorite weapons, the Church Pick. This weapon is quite unpopular, but it is insanely powerful, so let's get into it. There's nothing worth picking up in Central Yharnam, so we'll head over to Gascoigne. And first phase, we're going to want to draw easily parryable attacks and riposte those. And for the second phase, you'll want to punish long wind-up attacks and throw your Molotov cocktails that you've hopefully picked up around Central Yharnam. And that should make easy work of Father Gascoigne. If you watch my Holy Moonlight Sword build, you're going to know where this build is going, but we're going to need a triangle socket weapon. And a weapon we can easily obtain that has a triangle socket is the Rifle Spear. So just follow this route down through Old Yharnam. You are supposed to drop down there, but I missed the turn in this one because I didn't know really where to go. But yeah. Over here, there's going to be a broken fence. Just drop down. And head into the building. Go up the stairs. And over on the rafters, you should find your weapon of choice, the Rifle Spear. This weapon is terrible in terms of just raw damage, so we're going to have to switch it back and go the old-fashioned way to kill Vicar Amelia. And I didn't show it in the replay, but I did kill a Cleric Beast and not Bloodstarved Beast to get to her. But Vicar Amelia, I've pretty much mastered this fight by now. Just go for the limb, go for the left arm, and then head over to the left leg after you break it. And that should give you a riposte opportunity quickly. In this fight, I'm using a +1 Saw Spear, and it works incredibly well if you know what you're doing. Just you gotta punish the openings and watch out for attacks. And using this method, she will have very little opportunity. She might fight back if you're using a weak weapon, but if you've upgraded your Rifle Spear, or not Rifle Spear, Saw Spear a little bit, you should be completely fine. Always make sure to use a Beast Flood Plate and a Fire Paper in these earlier fights. It'll make them a lot easier and a lot faster. I do lose track of which limbs to break, but even with that, it's still a pretty good fight. It does get close near the end though, and I'm not taking any risks because it does use a lot of resources because it is a longer fight, as we haven't upgraded our Saw Cleaver that much. Vicar Amelia down, we can head over and grab our DLC key item. But we won't get into it just yet. We need to pick up a triangle blood gem that gives us rapid poison. We're going to head down towards the cave section of the Forbidden Woods. Past these dogs, over the flower bed. And you'll see the gem right up ahead. It's a triangle gem, which is why we needed the Rifle Spear. And with your upgraded Rifle Spear, socket in the gem. Make sure you do this, otherwise you'll waste a lot of time and it'll be a tragedy. Now we can finally head into the DLC. And head towards Ludwig. And if you've seen my video, you should know what we're gonna do. We're gonna freeze his AI and abuse the rapid poison. So walk into his room, quit out immediately to initiate a fog wall, and do as I do. You want to get really precise with the trigger that lets you enter the fog wall. It's gonna take a few attempts. I got lucky and it was my first try. I have also done this a few times, so I know what to look for, but if you fall down through the map, just quit out. You'll spawn right back in. And just resist the fog wall, and in no time he'll let you in. And from here, we're gonna want to tuck ourselves in between his back legs. I'll show him in a second. Yeah, these two hind legs, we're gonna tuck ourselves in, and for the next 20 minutes, just roll into them. With our Rifle Spear equipped, remember that it does take a while and it's going to be a waste of 20 minutes, but we do kill him without hitting him a single time. And you don't have to do this, but like, I suck at the game. And it's also just, this is faster and easier, so. We'll grab the eye pendant so we can make our way up. We're almost there. And use the elevator to the research hall. And from here, it's quite a tricky path and quite a hidden path. Just do as I do and head towards the right, And also be really careful here because everything will kill you in one, maybe two hits. We're gonna bust a quick right over here. You don't have to bait them out. I was just being safe because I died so many times here. And if they chase you, just quit out and come back up or load back in, and you can climb the ladder. And do not progress. You could progress if you want to find the item the regular way, but that's the item right there, and we can jump there. We can do a precise jump and grab it without progressing through this area. And there you go. It took me so long to get this item. I almost gave up, but we got it in the end. Now, back where we came from, one of these cells is going to have a locked door. I forgot to show myself opening it, but behind this door is a hunter that drops the not rifle spear, the church pick, and we're going to need to kill him. You could stand behind, he's tucked behind a door, and you can just cheese him behind that door. And you can resize his position, and you get free L2s and charge L2s, R2s I mean. And you could do that easy, but sometimes he will come out, and then you have to either wait for him to restart or fight him regularly. And please do not fight him regularly. I tried that, and I died, and it made me so sad. He had a sliver of HP left, and yeah, but we get him in the end. Sometimes he'll tuck himself behind this cell door, but you should understand what's going on and adapt to it. But we finally got the weapon. That was a long ass setup. Time for the bosses. First, we're gonna settle our score with the Bloodborne'S beast, and obviously, like, we're +7 I think at this point, so it should be a really easy fight. No real strategy here when you're this upgraded, but my tips for this is just using the pungent blood cocktails that you've hopefully picked up along the way and throwing them in this corner. And it's a pretty standard strategy. Nothing unique, nothing important, but at this level, at this upgrade level, yeah, no challenge. And now we're like a good level for the Dark Beast Parl, and he still doesn't pose that much of a challenge, but it doesn't. It takes a few more hits to break his limbs, so it is more exciting than just coming when you're at Yargul, rather than the Hypogean jail. But yeah, still this weapon is incredibly powerful, and the transform mode is it's not my favorite. I like the untransformed mode a lot better. You'll see me use that for majority of these fights. I've used it maybe a couple times and I'll immediately switch back. But yeah, the it's like a sword. It's like a large sword, so it works incredibly well. And the cool thing about this weapon too, it has innate what do you even call it? It's not serrated, but it has that serrated bonus, and same with the kin. It has that 20% increase to both kin and beast, so it does insane damage to almost every enemy in this game. And yeah, Dark Beast Marl doesn't stand a chance. Up next on the chopping block, we got the Shadows of Yarnum. Remember to pop a Beast Blood pellet and a bolt paper for this fight, although not necessary. It'll make it a little bit easier. And what I like to do is run up, hit him with an R2, but this weapon apparently doesn't have a swipe R2, it has a slam R2, and yeah, I get caught pretty badly. But it's fine, we recover. And no real strategy for this fight. Just make sure you don't get one too low. Make sure they're all 30%, above 30%, and when you do want to take one below 30%, make sure the rest are below 50. So that'll just avoid you going through the annoying phases for long. Especially with this weapon at this level, we're +9 at this point. So, or actually +8. My bad. We're +8 at this point. So we do dish a lot of damage. And always remember to parry these guys. They're super easy to parry. And with our skill level, we do a ton of damage. Like I said, no real strategy. Just make sure you can finish off the last couple phases quickly, because that's the riskiest. Those are the riskiest phases. And yeah. Rom the Vacuous Spider, nothing more to see. This boss sucks. We do use the transformed attack, or transformed form, but no biggie. Witches of Hemwick will get him over with. No real strategy once again. Actually, I lied. There is a strategy. Make sure you bounce between the two witches, so you can avoid the second phase. If you want to make the fight easier, dump all your insight, but at this point, don't do that. I'd advise not to do that, because you'll see. I'll explain it now. We can buy Beast Blood pelts later, and we don't want to waste all our insight. And yeah, no real difficulty whatsoever. And back on the main story, we'll kill the one reborn. And I do have a strategy for this fight. Head towards his crotch area and attack that a couple times. That will send him down. And then move over to his. You can either go either side, but keep it consistent. Go to his left arm or leg, whatever that thing is, and then limb break that. And I'm not certain that you have to wait this long to attack, but I just play it safe. It doesn't matter. Break this hind leg. I think you could get a limb break on this back side as well, but it does. I always hit it a couple times and move on to the leg. Kill. Yeah, one Reborn goes on so super fast using this strategy. Absolute joke of a boss. And now on to Mikolash, and yeah, just no real strategy once again. Just don't get hit. If you get hit, you'll get staggered, and you'll die. Watch this. I still can't believe I dodged that. I'm never able to dodge that. It's so precise. But yeah, Mikolash goes down easily, almost easily. We'll get sidetracked a little bit, and we'll head over to the Celestial Emissary. No real strategy for this boss. Just focus on the main guy. He won't have a health bar, so you'll know exactly which one. I run the transformed attack, or transformed form for this one, just to get that extra range. And I do lose track of the main guy, but I'm playing it a little bit safe. And second phase, once again, just a bigger target, same story. He actually attacks you now though, so just watch out for them. He does hit semi-hard. When he, just watch, yeah. It did double damage though, because I was rolling, but that's still a lot of damage. And yeah, since we do have thrust damage, these guys are weak to it, if you didn't know that. But yeah, we take them down really fast. Even faster if we popped a Beast Blood pellet and a bolt paper, but that's just a waste. And no point in doing that. So yeah, easy peasy. And we'll move on to Ebrietas, get her over with. For this fight, you do want to pop a Beast Blood pellet and a bolt paper. I think I'm really stingy with this, so a lot of the fights, the horror fights, you'll see me without it, just because I don't want to waste it. But yeah, hit her first and then pop a bolt paper. It'll save time. It'll be more efficient. And you don't want to fight her like a hunter or beast boss. Stay back, wait for easily punishable attacks, and that'll make it easy. And that charge attack you saw me get hit by, when the second she raises her arm, lock off and run perpendicular to her, and you should easily dodge it. We do get killed first try, but we come back. This is one of the few fights, or a couple fights, that we use our transformed weapon mode because of that extra range. It'll allow us to hit her head a lot easier. And yeah, you saw me dodge that. The second I saw her arm go up, you run. There's no other avoiding that aside from a very precise dodge, and even then, you might get hit by a secondary attack. And yeah, she goes down so fast. This weapon is amazing. Amygdala, another transformed fight. We want that extra range to hit his head. It took one hit and he got downed, which is sick. If you've seen my other videos, you know the strategy I like to use, and if you stand behind his tail or right beside his tail, he'll jump and just don't move from there, and his head will be exactly where you are. I'll show that in a second, but fighting the Chalice Amygdala, the Defiled Chalice Amygdala, it's ingrained that into my head. I don't know how to fight him any other way at this point. Try to go lock on for this fight. It'll make hitting heads a lot easier. We almost sell near the end, but Amygdala is a pretty simple fight if you know what you're doing. But you can say that about any fight now. Yeah, that extra range helps us out a lot. So far, so good. This weapon's amazing. And we're on to, could be one of our final bosses, but not in this one. Murgo's Wet Nurse. Yikes. After this, though, I have the best Wet Nurse fight in my life. Just perfect RNG. And we do good damage. She's a tanky boss, so it might not look like much, but we're doing chunks. Always pop beast blood pellet and a bolt paper. If you're a stingy guy like me, you don't have to worry about losing it. It'll just make it faster rather than make it easier. My normal strategy is stay behind her. Try to always be behind her, and if you want to play aggressive, you can play aggressive. But if you want to stay back, you can also stay back. It's up to you. I want to get the most out of this beast blood, so I do. I'm a hybrid. I go hybrid for this one, and look at that damage. Once again, stay behind her, and she doesn't go into a shadow phase in this fight. But if she does, move counterclockwise in the outer part of this arena, and you won't get hit. Just manage your stamina, and you'll be fine. Yeah, best Murgos fight of my life. That was insane. Not thrilling because it's a pretty boring boss, but nice RNG. And we'll wrap up the main game with Martyr Ligarius. And I always wish I could show off the fight for these parryable bosses, but I just love parrying in this game. It makes it so much easier. And we're running a skill build. We do that actual added damage. And yeah, look at the damage we do with our parries. Not even anything to say about the weapon. You could use any skill build with the clawmark runes and you'll dish out this much damage. We have about 40 skill at this point. 35, 40. And Living Failures, now we're on to the DLC, which is the first in these videos. Living Failures, pretty simple fight. Once again, same story. Since we do thrust damage, we'll have that bonus. Or these guys are weak to thrust, so we'll do more damage to them. I should put it that way. And yeah, pretty easy fight. Just, you gotta have eyes everywhere. Just make sure you aren't focusing on one. If you tunnel vision, you're gonna get crept up from behind, and these guys do a lot of damage, and they can kill you really fast. Especially when you get ganged up, then it's a death sentence. I'd assume the safe spot's already known by now, but behind that sunflower or lumen flower, you won't get hit by the projectiles. And if you're lucky, one of the failures will be right beside you. You can just wail on them like this. I choose not to, just to play safe, but yeah, you could easily kill him when he's like this. Living Failures down. On to Lady Maria. And it's been a really long time, admittedly, since I fought Lady Maria. So I had a bit of a rough time. Not as rough as I thought. Not as rough as Lawrence. I'll get into that when I get to it. But parry when you can. In the first phase, it'll just make it go by a lot faster, and always dodge to her left side. Or your left side, sorry. Always dodge the left. A lot of attacks will miss. You might not even have to roll or quick step that. You can just move, and I'm pretty sure you'll be fine, but don't count on it. First phase is pretty simple once you get the dodges and the parry timings down. You get through really fast. I think with this build, it's just 2 parries, and I'm already out of first phase and into a good part of second phase. Yeah, parries are rough this go around, but we do land one. And yeah, this was my second attempt, believe it or not, and I almost get her, but I'm just not familiar with this fight, and luck brought me here, not skill. So you gotta get unlucky once. That's all it takes. We do get really close in this. This made my cheeks clench a bit. Yeah, you can't even see the health. This broke me. But a few more tries later, and fortunately we can get her down with a lot more skill. You can tell by how much blood vials I use, how confident I am in the boss, but also, for the charge attacks, you can try to get behind her and just hopefully dodge. That's usually what I do. And oh yeah, back to the fight. A lucky parry, and she's dead. Charge attacks, yeah. Charge attacks, the second she moves, dodge, and he'll dodge it. It's really hard to see, and most of the times I don't get it, but it's good to know. And now on to Lawrence. This fight, I fought this boss last, but in the recording I have it second last. Jessica's. And yeah, this fight took me more attempts than every other boss in this entire video combined. I'm not joking when I say this. I have no idea why. The first phase, I could not get past it. No idea why. And usually Lawrence is like one of the easier DLC bosses for me. Definitely easier than Maria and Orphan, but no idea what went wrong this time around. But yes, first phase it destroyed me, but second phase it only took a couple of tries in second phase to get him down. My strategy for this: stay behind him. If you can stay behind him, there's only a couple of attacks you have to dodge, and you'll figure him out sooner or later. And for second phase, stay to your left, his right. You'll know exactly what to do. Just don't run to the lava. And yeah, you should get him. Not as tricky as I made it sound, but yeah, it's fine. Orphan of Cause usually does a jump attack. This time around, he decided to do a swipe, and I don't have the reflexes for that. I love to parry this guy. This weapon, it shows my parry ability, which isn't that good, and this weapon's ability, which is really good. I always like to bait out his the attack where he drags his weapon down on the ground. It's really easy to parry. You can parry both his phases, but second phase, it's really chaotic and it's really incredibly difficult to parry him. So I just stopped banking on that. It's always nice to get a parry close to the end of this first phase, because you'll see I could have parried that actually. And that would have put the nail in the coffin for this guy, but it's fine. I also sold, so I sold twice in a row. That would have actually ended the fight in the at the very start of the second phase, but it is what it is. And you'll see that dishing out damage in his second phase is way harder than dishing out damage in his first. There's just such little opportunity, and you gotta take what you can get. It's really frantic and it's really desperate. That's a perfect description of this boss fight, actually. But honestly, I got lucky. You can tell by how much blood vials I have and how much blood bullets I have. Not that many, and it was a close fight. It was a tight fight. Stay back, and attack when you can. And if I was even like a tiny bit off there, he could have hit me, and I would have been dead, and I would have killed. I would have just punched the screen. And yeah. That's Orphan done. On to Gearman. I love parrying once again. I can't show off the weapon because I love parrying. Just believe me, the weapon's amazing and you should 100% try it. As for strategies, parry. And don't get killed in the last hit. You can tell I don't have that much experience with this fight either, because I would have known to not dodge it right away, but I guess it is what it is. Moon Presence. Really simple fight once he does his charged attack. Just try to bait it out. I'm not sure if there's a trigger for that, or if it's just like random, it can happen whenever. But yeah, I just fight him as normal until he does his charge attack and just wail on him. No real strategy there. If you can break limbs and get a riposte, that's good. As you can see, with 50 skill and 2 claw mark runes, we almost get half of his health in 1 riposte. So, yeah. And that's the run. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.